Okay, so how might I best arrange this a little bit better? Well, I think I'd like to change the sizes. So once again, here's the P over on the right. We double click on the T. Once we do that, it gets us back into editing mode with the P highlighted. And what I want to do is increase its size. So I'm going to come across here and go 350, maybe even 450. Okay, and then click on the Move tool. So that's made that quite big. So what can I do with that? Well, I'm not really sure, but we can have a little move around with it. I suppose I quite like it somewhere there. That'll be fine for the moment. Then let's double click on the T next to the W, and we might make that 350. And click on the Move tool, and I don't know, I might put that to there. Okay, so that's what I've done thus far. Now, if I want to save this out now, I can just go File and Save. But if I want to save this as a web file, as a file that I can use in my web page, I can't use this PSD file because that's not a file understood by the browser. We need to save the file in a format that the browser understands. So we need to go File, Save for Web. File, Save for Web. So with Adobe Photoshop, you need to get the file and output it in the format you want. What are the formats that we use on the web? Well, they're up here. We use GIF, JPEG, PNG, and there's this new one, WBMP, which I won't discuss. You'll notice there's two PNG formats, 8-bit and 24. You'll just generally use the 24. So really there's three: GIF, JPEG, and PNG. Now, these have various different traits, and this will be discussed with you in one of your classes, I think communication, one of those classes. But basically, GIF is for text and straight line and strong, bold blocks of color. JPEG is for photos. PNG 24 can do both. And PNG 24 is probably the de facto standard currently, although most people would still rely on JPEG for a photo, I would assume. So let's just, now, one of the things you need to know is JPEG does not support transparency. So you can see here, these are transparent pixels, they won't show. If I change that to JPEG, it makes the background white, and it will be white, and that's because JPEG does not support transparency. But GIF does. You'll notice it supports transparency, and PNG does. You'll notice it supports transparency. So I guess the most general advice I could give you if you're very new to all of this is PNG will always work no matter what you're doing. There are qualifications to that, but this will do for now. So we'll make it a PNG file, and we'll go. Now, do we want to keep it the same size? Let's say we want to make a small thumbnail. We could change the size. You'll notice this little lock here. This means that if I say I want to output it at 100 by 100, you can see that the little lock has constrained the width and height so that it's in the same perspective, and that's generally a good idea. You never want to really take your image and change its perspective, just its size. Okay, and we go Save. We go to the desktop. It's still called Logo, but notice this time Photoshop's aware that we chose PNG, and it's called it PNG. Let's go Save. Very good. So now, for example, if I open up my browser, for example, Firefox, and I drag the picture to Firefox, You'll see there it is. Now currently you'll notice that it is showing some white there, but when we use it in the context of a page and code, it certainly will not. What happens if we drag our PSD file to Firefox? It's quite confused, and it says, look, I don't know what to do with that. Do you want me to open it with Photoshop? So what we see here is the original file and the output file, and that's how we work with Photoshop and the web.